Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and let's talk about Gotham Knights again, because Gotham Knights trailer dropped, and I'm talking about for the CW TV show. And what's happening is a lot of people are kind of confused and trying to wonder, like, why is there a game called Gotham Knights and a TV show called Gotham Knights, and they don't look like the same at all. And it's kind of one of them synergy kind of things where you kind of just take the character, I mean, you kind of take the title of the show and just trying to market off the fact that you have WB Montreal, who announced Gotham Knights long time ago. Like, they have announced this long time ago, so this isn't something that just all of a sudden came out of nowhere. And then you have the CW, the Arrowverse, Batwomen writers. They said, hey, we need to do a spinoff, and we're going to do our show called Gotham Knights. The reason why they did that is because they wanted to market off of the hype of Gotham Knights video game. And what's happening is you got WB Montreal coming out in tweets telling people, like, there are two different products. The show and the game have no affiliation with each other. Our Gotham Knights is our own thing. Their Gotham Knights is their own thing too. And it's just kind of funny because you kind of have to laugh at this whole thing, that the reason why they're speaking out is because this show might actually do some damage to the Gotham Knight brand. And I know some people are like, what are you talking about? Well, what I mean is that you have an upcoming show that's coming out close to the same time that a video game with the same name coming out. Now, you know how you have brand synergies or whatever. You know how sometimes they do, you know, back in the day, if you guys were growing up, there used to be brand synergy where a movie or a show, if it's popular enough, sometimes they get a video game, and the video game and the show would usually tie into each other. You know what I'm saying? Where it will be familiar, it will look familiar and everything. And now that you see Gotham Knights, the show, and then the video game, it looks nothing like each other. So it is creating a little bit of brand confusion. It's the same thing when you have the Marvel MCU movies and shows, and then you look at the comic books and video games, they're completely nowhere like their movie counterparts. Brand synergy sometimes is just, it's whatever. Back in the day, they used to make video games based off of the movie, so at least you know when the movie came out, there's a game coming out with it where you'd be like, oh, okay, so we know that these games are for that audience. But they stopped doing that a long time ago. Could you imagine if Marvel kept making video games based on the movies, just like if DC did the same thing too? That would be amazing, right? But they don't do that anymore. So now you have something that's unrelatable, a pilot that should have never got picked up, a show that looks like a pile of dog shit in the first place, from failed writers of a previous failed show that no one asks about, and they're using the name and brand synergy of the video game to market the show. Because what's going to happen is a lot of people aren't online. A lot of people don't know anything. All they know is there's a video game coming out called Gotham Knight, and they know there's a TV show called Gotham Knights. And some people might go into the show thinking that they're going to get what they saw for the video game, and then realize, like, holy shit, what is this? Which might turn them off from potentially buying the video game. You get what I'm saying? I know some people are like, that's impossible. No, it's possible, because you do have a lot of people who do not pay attention like that. So they're seeing a show called Gotham Knights, and then they're seeing, like, oh, those characters will probably get the same costumes in the video game. They just haven't got there yet, without understanding that that show and the video game are two completely different things. And it's just kind of funny that nobody at WB, CW, David Zaslav, Greg Perlinsky, WB Montreal didn't, like, sit down and was like, you know, when they did a quarterly evaluation, and was like, what the fuck? Because it shouldn't even have been called Gotham Knights. But I know they couldn't probably call it Gotham because of the fact that Fox had already did a show called Gotham. They should have figured out something else, like maybe well, no, they couldn't use the Gotham Sirens because it would have had to been a whole team of women. So maybe maybe you can call it Bat Knights or something like that. I don't know. the Knights of Gotham, or you know what I mean? Like that could have been something. That could have been something, or you could have called it the Gotham Runaways. That would have been something, because that's what the damn show's called anyway. I mean, that's what the characters are like anyway. You have a fanfic character that nobody asked for. You have a race-bent Robin character that's not even part of the main continuity in the first place, but sure, let's use her. We have 2 LGBT characters that nobody asked for. Again, that they're part of the Batman family, but nobody asked for. We have a villain who don't know who the hell she want to be. Then we have a former girlfriend of one of the most famous Robins also in the show. It's kind of like, so what's happening here? What are we doing? What are we doing? But Batman's dead. There's no acknowledgement of Oracle, Nightwing, or any other 2 Robins. There's no Luke Thomas. There's no Duke Thomas. There's no Luke Fox. None of that kind of stuff. There is nothing. And yet you have a video game that has, okay, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood all are teaming up to take on the Court of Owls to face off against, Gotham and the Court of Owls after the death of Batman. You don't even have the Court of Owls in Gotham Knights TV show from the CW. So now people are worried, because you can tell there are people who are worried about, like, could this show self-sabotage the video game? And I believe it could. I know some people say, oh no, that's impossible. No, but yeah, it could, because sometimes if people watch a product before they buy it, because think about it, what if you do want to buy Gotham Knights, and then you say, well, I'm going to watch the show and see if I need to invest in the video game, right? And then you like, well, the video game is completely different than the thing, but then they might be like, oh, well, the show is like the main product and the video game is like a side thing. So then some people might not buy the video game because they were turned off by the show. You get what I'm saying? So it felt like it was deliberately on the writers of Batwoman to purposely make a show called Gotham Knights when they know damn well that it was nowhere close to the CW show. And that's the sad thing too. Because now you got people like, oh my God, what's the difference between the show and the video game? I mean, there's a difference, but again, people just don't pay attention. And now you got a video game that has people wondering if they should buy it or not. And on top of that, you just canceled previous console generation, so that's already something. Then you have a show that's not even tied in. But then people don't know that, and then who knows? You might try to do a tie-in comic or whatever. So you see how all of that could cause a lot of brand confusion that really shouldn't even have happened. But of course, refuse to be stupid, right? I just don't understand how this was just like, when they were sitting down and they were talking about all the upcoming projects in DC, because I know they have to have a summit or whatever. You mean tell me nobody talked to WB Montreal before the Arrowverse said, oh yeah, and the Arrowverse, most of their shows are being filmed up in Canada anyway, where WB Montreal is anyway. So you mean tell me you didn't think about talking to WB Montreal or whatever? And at least if you're gonna do Gotham Knights, at least make the damn show close to the same thing as the damn fucking video game. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. That's how you would have got people to buy the game even more, because you could have easily brought in Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood, and have them take on the Court of Owls in each episode, because and that could have led into brand synergy between the show and the video game. Then you could have also merchandised that, because I know there are merchandising the video game characters now, but I don't think a lot of people even know or even interested in it. But if they had a show, and then they could have used the show to promote the video game and also promote merchandise for it. You get what I'm saying? You get how you kind of do need to have a little bit of brand synergy when you're doing certain things like this. But no, they don't want to do that. They want to be ignorant. So this is the punishment that you get. You get a half-baked Riverdale bullshit show and a video game that might sell, but people don't know, because them trailers really wasn't all that in the bag of pop chips. And on top of that, you waited until 6 months to release date to be like, oh yeah, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox Series X, yeah, we're not doing any the Xbox One, right? Whatever, I don't care. No, yeah, it is Xbox One, that we're not going to be doing any of that previous console release. Oh, okay, great. So people who waited for almost two to 3 years for the game, who probably pre-ordered it that day, now they have to go back to the store and get their pre-order back because y'all done canceled it. You get what I'm saying? So that's millions lost in revenue. And I know some people are like, well, that's because you bitches should just get a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. Yeah, because if they were the most easiest thing to get, we would got them. Ain't nobody about to be fighting over a console to get. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, get a gaming PC, which I think I might have to most likely invest into that one, because if they want me to spend some goddamn money, I might as well get a gaming PC, because at this point, they're putting all the console games on PC anyway. They are. And I know some people are like, oh, you know, it's going to take a while, but not really. The newer games are literally on PC now. You know, you got God of War, you got Spider-Man coming soon, you have Gotham Knights is coming soon. Like, exclusive games from both Microsoft and PlayStation are literally coming to PC. Because if you don't want people to really pay for the console, put it on PC at this point. So, you know what I mean? So you got a half-baked show and a decent semi-baked game that a lot of people still on the fifth about, and now you got people also confused about the show and how it connects to the video game, and why the video game don't look like the show. It's crazy how that works, right? It is crazy. But hey, this is what y'all wanted to do. This is what y'all wanted to do instead of being smart about things. Nobody ever wants to be smart. It's just kind of funny how people who actually know about these characters have more passion about these characters than the average person who don't even care about these characters like that. Yeah, you work for WB and stuff like that. That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. Just because you work for a company don't mean that you have the best interest, and doesn't mean that you know anything about what they're doing at all. I mean, hell, when I did jobs too, when I went to different jobs, just because I worked for them don't mean I was passionate about what they were talking about. And hell, even then, when you do make suggestions on how to improve and stuff like that, they don't want to listen. They want to do the dumb shit and then be confused, like when people get mad at them or they get backlash. Well, you know, I was trying to make a suggestion and stuff like that, but they pay me the big bucks. Oh, okay, all right, fine. Continue to get yelled at customers then. Continue to get reported on. Sorry, you was big and bad. You was big and bad, right? Oh, okay, cool, great. I'm just being honest. So it is what it is. This is what y'all wanted. This is what you get. Because if that's the case, you could have just canceled. You easily could have canceled Gotham Knights. It shouldn't even have gotten picked up. It really shouldn't have, because it looks like horse shit. The trailer looks like horse shit in a body bag. But no, we gotta do it. We gotta do it because we need some shows and stuff like that. Instead of actually taking time and actually making a good show, you made a half-baked, unnecessary race bent fanfic and unnecessary additions to characters that nobody asked for, just to kill off Batman again. And what's up with these Batman adjacent shows nowadays? If y'all don't put Batman in a show, we gonna have problems. Because if you can do Superman, you can do Batman, and then maybe after that you can do fucking Wonder Woman. How about that? Give me something like that and stop being stupid. Jesus Christ, y'all have the answers in front of y'all and y'all still refuse to be stupid. That's what it is. It's refusal. We know what we're doing. We know best. Sure you do. Sure you do. That's why everybody's making fun of this shit right now. It's so dumb. It's dumb. It's literally dumb. Just stop, listen, breathe, and work, but work smarter, not stupider. I will, because I can't really say harder, because they ain't working that damn hard. They put some bullshit out, and then whoever's in charge say, yeah, let's go, and put it to screen, and think it's really hard work. It's not fucking hard work, because if you really cared, and if you really wanted something to be a success, you would actually listen to the criticism that you're getting. You will listen to the fans of the material that you want. If you're adapting Batman shit, adapt them correctly. You know what the fuck Dula Dent look like. You know what Harper Row and Colin Harper look like. I mean, Colin Rowe. So Colin Rowe and Harper Row look like. You know what Carrie Kelly looks like. You know what Stephanie Brown looks like. And yet, don't nobody look like nobody. And then ain't nobody got no damn costumes on. But then at the same time, it's also coming out towards when the fucking video game of the same name is coming out. And then you wonder why people are a little bit worried. I could never guess, you know? But it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.